Tomorrow morning, you wake up and check your phone to find the same story running on every outlet. Every parliament is dissolved, every military has stood down, every border crossing is abandoned. No president, no courts, no laws. What do you do when absolutely no one is in charge? Your first instinct is likely fear. You might picture instant violent chaos, looting and warfare in the streets by the afternoon. However, data from modern government collapses, such as Somalia in 1991, shows a different reality. The overwhelming majority of people do not immediately become criminals. Instead, people check on their neighbors and share information. They form impromptu groups for mutual aid and security. Sociological research consistently finds that human communities default to cooperation, not conflict, in the immediate aftermath of a catastrophe. While the humans cooperate, the machinery of civilization stops. Within 24 hours, the global food distribution system begins to break. That system relies entirely on government infrastructure. Supermarkets and refineries require customs enforcement to receive deliveries and public roads to move them. Simultaneously, the financial system needs legal frameworks. Without that trust, digital transactions freeze and banks fail. Utilities like electricity and water will keep running for the first day, coasting on the dedication of the engineers who operate them. Physical cash remains the only medium of exchange, and only because people still trust it out of habit. Billions rely on complex, state-backed networks for survival. The paralysis of these systems creates a crisis far more lethal than any initial social unrest. Humans have a long track record of living without central authority. For roughly 95% of our existence, we lived without formal governments, written laws, or standing armies. Long before the first city-states emerged around 5,000 years ago, humans lived in stateless societies. They successfully managed food sharing, defense, and conflict resolution through informal social norms. Human organization precedes the state. Governments were built on top of our existing ability to cooperate, rather than being the source of it. If the state vanished tomorrow, community authority would naturally flow to individuals with demonstrated competence: the local doctor, the engineer, the person who knows how to grow food. Neighborhoods would establish their own rules and mediate disputes through social pressure. This informal justice is highly effective at the local level, even if it can be brutal and heavily biased. We possess an innate evolutionary mechanism for generating local order. We do not strictly need a state to prevent us from turning on each other in our own neighborhoods. But managing a neighborhood is very different from managing a modern, interconnected planet. Certain systems genuinely require centralized coordination to exist. Large-scale infrastructure begins degrading within weeks. Deep-sea cables, satellite networks, and continental electrical grids fail without the funding and maintenance coordinated by multiple governments. The consequences for modern medicine are devastating. Specialized pharmaceutical supply chains, the ones that manufacture and deliver insulin, chemotherapy drugs, and antibiotics, rely entirely on international trade to reach patients. Then there is the ultimate existential risk: the global nuclear arsenal. Secure management of nuclear material requires functional command and control structures. Without them, thousands of warheads sit completely unsecured. While our local evolutionary social skills can keep a village functioning, they cannot sustain billions of people who depend on global trade and specialized medicine. History shows that power vacuums are never empty for long. From the ashes of a collapsed state, new regional authorities, like city councils, religious institutions, or military commanders, always emerge to take control. Long-term stability depends heavily on existing social trust. High-trust societies with equal resource distribution might rebuild toward democratic governance, while areas with deep inequality or ethnic tension often fracture into competing warlord territories. The historical record shows that the formation of a state and its civic institutions requires generations of struggle and immense human effort. The legal systems, civil rights, and coordinated safety nets we rely on took centuries to build. They cannot be reconstructed overnight. Government is a coordination technology, a human invention designed to manage life and security at a scale too massive for local community customs. We built this tool to solve problems of security and justice that our ancestors never had to face in small tribal groups. A collapse would strip away the accumulated bureaucracy and inertia of the modern state. While this might eventually allow for a leaner, more local way of living, we would first have to survive the total failure of the global systems that keep billions of us alive. Removing the state results in a world that is harder, more violent, and more fragile. We would be trading the frustrations of modern bureaucracy for a survival struggle most of us have never had to face. Next week on The Hypothetical World, we explore a different kind of planetary shift. What if Earth had 2 moons? How would that extra pull alter our ocean tides, disrupt our calendars, and the course of history? Subscribe right now. You will never look at the night sky the same way again.